Today we will talk about DJI Waypoints, and DJI itself gives you two native ways to create waypoint missions, and it doesn't matter if it's like Mavic 3 Pro in my case, or Mini 5 Pro, or any other DJI drone which supports the waypoint missions. And you can plan them offline on the controller, or you can add waypoints while flying, and with the Hyperlapse actually it's only the flying method. On top of that, there is a third approach people heavily rely on, which is planning missions externally using Litchi Mission Hub. Most videos only covers one of these, sometimes two, and that's why beginners end up confused, getting inconsistent results, or choosing the wrong method for the shot they want. In this video, I will walk through all three approaches, explain what each one is actually good for, and help you choose the right method for your specific flight. And let's start with the offline planning first. And in order to do the offline mission planning, what you will have to do on your controller, it doesn't matter if it's like Mavic 3 Pro controller or Mini 5 Pro, is the same process. You don't have to turn on your drone. You just go into the connect to the aircraft, then you're going straight to the camera view. You will don't see obviously anything. Then you click on the waypoint missions and you will switch on the map and you will find your location where you would like to fly. So somewhere over here. And the first thing that you want to do, you want to click once on the map like that. So it will create your first waypoint. Then usually what I am doing, I am just setting my second waypoint, just again clicking on the map. Now in this particular case, what I would like to do in this mission, I would like to have as a point of view the construction building, which I have over here. And what I would do, I will just also set up a point of interest like this. And the next thing you want to do, you will want to go through each of these points and actually set the rules. So for the point of interest, I know the building is around 20 meters or so. So we will keep this in frame like that. So for the first waypoint, the one thing that you want to change is altitude. Again, it's a guess, but in my case, let's say I want to be 20 meters for this waypoint. And also what you want to change here, because we have point of interest, you want to change the heading to point of interest, face point of interest, like this. And you want to do same for the second one. And by the way, for the second one, let's say I want to go 98 meters. So for the second point and want to have exactly same behavior, I want to face point of interest. Now the drone will go from point 1 to point 2 and it will actually look at our point of interest. Now what you want to do, you want to go to this icon here, save your mission, and later on when you will be flying, you will be able to open it from this menu over here, and you will be able to fly it right away as you plan it. Now, I wouldn't recommend to use this method for the actual mission. It's good to have this option as a learning option, but I wouldn't use it for the actual mission planning, because you don't see exactly what you see in camera, what is the altitude of your drone from the ground. So it's just a learning exercise from my point of view. The second method I will show you after this one. We will go outside and I will show you live how I'm setting up the waypoints during the actual flight rather than offline method. So now I will show you how to set up the waypoints during the actual flight on the Mini 5 Pro. Unfortunately, I don't have the landing pad today, so I will use my palm. So let me just take off quickly. Yeah, let me record the screen. Okay, So let me just go somewhere over there. Okay, let's say I want to record that construction building over there. So we'll go somewhere here. Yeah, somewhere like that. And let's say I want it to be like this. So what you will have to do, you will have to click the waypoints icon over here. And you will have to press the plus button right here. So it will add the first waypoint. Then you move into your next waypoint, whatever you prefer. So let's just go somewhere right here. And let's say this will be our second waypoint. So you just add in the second waypoints right here. So now you have two waypoints, and you can also add the point of interest if you want to. That's also possible, but in my case I will just use these two angles for now. You just click next, and let me actually return back to home quickly, because we will start from waypoint 1. Yeah, so we came back, and the global speed I would like to fly a little bit faster, let's say like that. So let me just record the video, and you have to press the go. So the drone will go to the first waypoint, and it will start the waypoint mission, and will go from first point to the last one. And once the mission is finished, it will actually return to home automatically, because this is the instruction that was set in the waypoint mission settings. Return to home. So as you can see now, it's return to home. In my case, I will just cancel it because I don't have the landing pad. I will need to land into my palm. And whenever you land in, just make sure you're setting your drone position so that its back was towards you, so that you had a more natural control. And then you just using your palm, in my case it will be the right hand, and you just pressing down. And let it land. So simple as this. So now let's go back, and I will actually show you the third method, which is my preferred one, the Litchi Hub mission planning. And now let's talk about my preferred way of doing the waypoint missions, and I'm using the Litchi Hub for most of my pre-planned missions, and this is the way how I'm doing it. So let's say this is our freshly new created mission, and I want to create a few waypoints similar to what we had in our two other cases that we made on the DJI Fly app. And what also I want to create a waypoint at the point of interest somewhere over here. And at this point, what I would do as well, and it is important in your settings for a mission, it is important that your mission is set above the ground. And actually what I will do, I will put a link over there where I had pretty detailed test about the accuracy of waypoints and the mission planning, so you could take a look at that if you're interested. But for now, just whenever you're planning the mission, just set it above the ground and not above the takeoff position. Now let's right away switch actually to the 3D view, and this is the beneficial thing that you have when you're using the Litchi Hub, because you can actually preview in 3D space exactly where your waypoints are, and moreover you can actually simulate what you will actually see through the drone. And by the way, as you can see here, you can also select your drone model, and in our case it will be DJI Mini 5 Pro. It simulates field of view of the drone. Let's say the first waypoint, I want to have it a little bit lower something like this. Then the second waypoint, I want to have it much further from the ground, something like this. And for instance, I don't want to have actually the linear motion from one point to another. So what I could do, I can actually add an extra point over here in the middle. And if we will go now over here, I can start changing also the parameters. So let's say I want to beat, let's say something like that, just to have a little bit of curvature. The second thing that you want to change here, you need to go through each of your waypoints. And here you see the heading is set to follow path. We don't want to have that behavior in this particular case. And what we want to do, just let me go to the settings. So the heading mode in the global settings, you see it's set to follow path. What we want is the point of interest. And now if you go through, and yes, here for the global pitch mode, you also want to set point of interest because we're looking at the ground level. So now you will go to each of your waypoints, and as you can see now it's set the heading and pitch for each waypoint to your global setting. The good thing about current Litchi Mission Hub is that you actually can preview all of this in 3D space, right? And by the way, let's say I want even to have this path linear. Let's go to the 2D view, and what you could do, you can actually start doing something like this. Let's say I want to have this curvature. And by the way, important thing also to note here that whenever the path mode is set to smooth curves, over here it will match the interpolation of the curve in DJI Fly App. Because by default, if it's like curved trims, this is the previous one, and this is supported by Fly Litchi app. But in my case, I have RC Pro controller on my Mini 5 Pro, and I cannot use the Fly app at all. On top of that, DJI didn't release the SDK for Mini 5 Pro specifically, so there is no way of using non-DJI Fly app like a Litchi app if you have a 3 controller, for example. So whenever you plan in your missions, just make sure it's set to smooth curve. This will match closer to what DJI Fly app will actually treat those when you will export this. Let's say you have it set up, and what I really love in Fly Litchi app is that you actually can preview it as FPV kind of preview. So you are setting the FPV, you go in here, and you can actually see how the mission will look like through the camera when your drone is flying. And this is really great because you can plan your missions precisely, and you can view exactly what your drone flight path will be when you will do the flight. So in our case, it's something like that. So, and if you will export this to the controller, and I will show you after a while how to do it, you can actually test this flight, and it will look pretty close to whatever you currently see on the screen. The next step, what you want to do, you need to go over here and then press the export. So currently here are a few things. You also want to know that there are a few options of exporting. The first is KML, and this is useful if you want to preview it in, let's say, Google Earth Pro, right? The second option that we have here is the KMZ DJI Fly app, and this is what you will use most of the times when you plan in your mission. So you just export in it, and then you will just have to copy it to the controller. And let me show you exactly how you want to do that. So you're connecting your RC2 controller to your PC, and you just go into the internal storage, you go into the Android data, DJI Go V5 files. And as you can see here, we have few folders, and what we're interested in this particular case is the Waypoints folder over here. There is also, by the way, as you can see, the Hyperlapse, but we will talk about that a little bit later. So you go into the Waypoints folder, and as you can see here, I do have few created waypoints in previous sessions that I do have, and you will just have to create a dummy waypoint mission. You can do it offline without connecting to a drone, just saving some mission. And then once that is done, you go inside, and we just have exported our KMZ file. And as you can see, if I will copy it here, that was the name. And what you want to do, you would like to copy this name over here, delete this file, and rename your Litchi Mission to exactly same name, so that it was matching to all of these numbers over here. So once that is done, technically, whenever you will go out, take off, and load this mission, you will get exactly same waypoints. This is how the mission is exported from Litchi Fly Hub to the controller. Now let's talk a little bit about the Hyperlapse, because for the Hyperlapse, the only options you have from within DJI Fly app is actually flying it and setting the waypoints. You cannot do it offline at all. But there is a workaround to actually do this also in the Fly Litchi Hub and make it work with the Hyperlapse mission as well, because those two formats are different. So if you'll make your regular waypoints for the video, let's say in any of these three methods, you will not able to use it in Hyperlapse because it will be just not visible. So now let's talk a little bit about those Hyperlapse options that we do have. Hyperlapse using different format, and if you will just try to export this as a KMZ file, this will not work for you, because this is for the video waypoint missions, and Hyperlapse have different format. So the previously how I would do it, I would just export CSV format and then convert it to the Hyperlapse. But unfortunately, as of now, as you can see, you cannot export CSV out of the new Litchi Hub. And this is the workaround that exists to make it work. So let's say we exported our mission to the KMZ file, which works for the regular video waypoints. And then what we want to do is actually convert it to the Hyperlapse. Currently there is this, I will put this link in the descriptions, where you can actually convert KMZ file to the Litchi Waypoint mission, right? So it will actually generate the CSV that we will need later on. So let me just choose the KMZ file that we just exported, which is this one, and let's generate the CSV file. And as you can see here, we have these different kind of curves. One is linear, one is the green one is the original Litchi interpretation of the curves, and the red one is the DJI Fly Up smooth curves. So now let's actually figure out how this conversion actually looks if you will put inside the controller, or in our case, we will test it out in Litchi Hub. So let me just download it quickly to the same folder, like Mission CSV. Now let's go to the Mission Hub, and what I will do, I will import it from the CSV that we just exported, and let's actually see how it looks like. And as you can see now over here, by default, when the CSV comes to Litchi Hub, we have this default settings of the pass mode as a curve trims rather than a Let me unlock it rather than a smooth curve, which you will have in DJI Fly. To avoid this problem, what I made, I also created a Python script which taken the original CSV and adding the interpolation point to maintain same smooth curve rather than getting this straight or curved turn pass. And now let me just demonstrate it to you how it works. And I will provide you the Python script for this conversion, but essentially what you will have to do is to use this line. So it's a Python, and then using the Python script which I will provide to you, you have input as your exported CSV file that we just seen, and then you output in the dense variation of that, which bakes it into the more denser curve. So you will have to run this line, and as you can see, it outputted now the mission CSV file with 59 waypoints. And now let's take a look how it actually looks like if we will import to the Litchi Mission Hub. So we'll go there, select our mission dense CSV, we will just export it and import it to our Litchi Hub. And as you can see here now, what you have, you just have a lot of extra points here that it's much closer to the original waypoint missions that we planned with the smooth curve. But in this case, it's more points, and you will able to use it for the hyperlapse as well in this particular case, right? But this is still CSV file. It's not what the hyperlapse waypoint I expected as the input. And now let me show you how to convert the CSV to the hyperlapse waypoints format. And on the same utilities, litchis-utilities.com, you have this converter, which I will also put into the description, which essentially converting the CSV file to the hyperlapse mission. So let me just load that mission dense CSV file over here, and let's actually generate the hyperlapse mission in this case, which you can use on the DJI Fly app. And as you can see, it generated all of these waypoints, which is 59 waypoints, and now you can actually download this as well. And let me just copy the path, and I will show you what is inside that archive. And inside what you will have this hyperlapse path with some numbers, and inside you will have all your waypoints, the 59 of those, and the JSON file. And what you want to do, you want to copy this hyperlapse folder to the hyperlapse folder on your RC2 controller. So once you will connect your RC2 controller or RC Pro, doesn't really matter, it's the same structure. So you will have to go to the Android folder over here, to the data, DJI Go V5 files, and as I mentioned before, we have the waypoints, and also we do have the hyperlapse folder over here. So you will just have to extract that zip file which we just get from the utility here, and just copy paste it to the hyperlapse folder over there. And once you will go for a flight and you will open this hyperlapse mission, you will get exactly what we have just planned, but also in the hyperlapse mode, not just the waypoint mode. And at the end of this video, I would just like to mention that whenever you're planning your waypoint missions, just make sure there is at least 10 meters from any obstacles nearby. Because I done the testing for the waypoint accuracy and repeatability, and you can actually see the link over there if you're interested too. So the accuracy is not what most people would expect, and you have to have that 10 meters margin from any obstacles in your waypoint planning. So please check the video, and if this helped you understand Waypoint's missions a little bit better, give the video a like, it really helps the channel. And if you want more practical drone content like this, consider subscribing. I also left links below for a deeper waypoint accuracy test and some related videos if you want to go further. So thank you for watching, fly safe, and see you next time.